to the Wise Take DFS podcast. I am your host, CK013. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013, and I'm joined once again by the original Slim Gaede. You can find him on Twitter at Real Slim Gaede. That's Gaede. He writes our exit velocity articles, the hardest hitters, the fast and the furious. Love the name. Everybody loves that name. Jason, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. How we doing? Played my boy Cozart off that article today. I like it.
Yeah. I like Cozart. Yeah.
Something's going right today.
Yeah, man, definitely. It's an interesting slate, man. Where, Darvish just looks horrible. It's something that looks wrong or something. I don't know. Maybe he's nervous pitching and home, but he's having a hard time with these White Sox. But to his credit, the White Sox have kind of been pesky. Ever since they got rid of, they had that span where they were terrible and striking out. They've gotten a little less, so weak. You know what I mean? I don't even know how to word it right now. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they could cause some problems.
Yeah,
just
man,
all I'm saying though, give me 5 innings, I could probably get one strikeout. He doesn't have a strikeout right now. I could get one. I could get one right now.
Maybe at least one called, right? Where the umpire just helps
just give me,
out.
just give me something. Yeah.
Strike three, bro. You're out.
Exactly. I can get one. I could have more fantasy points right now than Darvish does. I'm just saying.
Yeah, man, it's pretty bad. We were on the live stream. We were saying that Cashew when he had the Cubs. It looks like Andrus was a guy. I didn't expect him to be that popular because he was especially on FanDuel. On FanDuel, he was 3,600. So I didn't expect him to be that popular, and he was super popular. And he had a monster game, so he's making things a little rough. And then of course Kike, you had your choice of value guys between Lagares, you had Blanco, and then you had Kike, and Kike just hit a home run in the late game. But so it's interesting. It looks like some of these games are going to continue. Like the Cubs, for instance, was recently tied up, and I know Texas is still finishing up. So we'll interested to see what happens. See if Darvish ever gets that strikeout.
Just get one, dude.
Yeah, currently even Rodon flied out, so he's having a real issue with strikeouts.
That's the one I could get. I could have got him once.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel pretty good about
you figure the guy plays in the American League, so he literally never bats, and he was able to make some contact. So something seems a little off for you, Darvish. Anyway, man, we got 2 slates to break down, so it's a pretty cool day for DFS players. If you're into baseball DFS, it's a pretty cool day for you because you have 2 slates, and they're not small enough to be annoying. They're not big enough to be overwhelming. They're kind of right there. What are they, both 5 games, Jason?
Yeah, both 5.
That's
a pretty cool deal. I like it.
I like it, too. I'm sure. I think FanDuel is probably going to screw that up for you and make it a 3. Yeah, a 3 and a 5.
Sure.
FanDuel already did it, so...
Jesus.
So we'll be talking about DraftKings specifically for the early slates, and then obviously for the main, we'll just kind of go neutral, talk about them both a little bit like we always do. But hey, and until FanDuel smartens up a little bit, we're just going to talk about DraftKings strictly because they're the only ones who were smart enough to keep the slate together. I guess they're the only ones. You know what it is? They were the first ones with the late swap, so I think it's they know how it's done. If you created it, you have that advantage. So FanDuel, they're new to late swap, so maybe they don't trust it all the way, and now they have these. I don't know. I'm trying to make excuses for them, but
I don't know.
They
got some shit to figure out over there, reserving games and stuff too. So whatever.
That's true. The reserving game. Sometimes you don't feel like making a fucking dummy lineup. Sometimes
I never want to make a dummy
lineup. Good point. All right, man.
Send an email or a tweet or something.
There we go. Yeah, I'm sure they'll give a shit what we say.
Hey, I'll tell you what though. They did give me my money back on WNBA when they had that game canceled though. I threw a fit.
There you go. All right. There you go.
Gave it back, so I love you, FanDuel.
All right, I'm with it.
Kinda. Let's get reserve game. Let's go.
Awesome. Awesome. So, first game, we got Carlos Carrasco of the Cleveland Indians visiting Kyle Gibson of the Minnesota Twins. I'm assuming that they're going to be playing a doubleheader. I'm not quite sure, but this is the game that's slated.
So who do you got for Minnesota?
I got Kyle Gibson on this one.
So it's tonight's starters.
That's what I see. I don't see a second game
Yeah.
schedule. I know FanDuel had Barrios in them, but I would imagine
Yeah.
Cleveland. I don't think Cleveland's going to want to skip Carrasco's start. He's one of their better pitchers. You know what I mean? And I don't know about Minnesota.
Yeah.
They might want to throw Barrios against them. You know?
Yeah. Earlier when I was looking, they had Clevenger and Barrios, but yeah, they got the doubleheader at MLB.com, so they got Carrasco and
In
Gibson.
the early.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I like Carrasco a lot today. I don't know what his price point is yet, but
On DraftKings, he's 11-1.
11-1. So it looks like with the early slate, you're either paying up or you're paying down. It doesn't look like there's much in the middle. So, yeah, I like him a lot. From what I was looking at last night, he hasn't been quite as consistent as Salazar, but he's getting a lot of strikeouts. The Twins strike out a lot. We just saw that yesterday. So, yeah, he's going to move to the top of my list, pretty close to the top.
Yeah, man.
I just been living a lot lately on strikeout rates.
Yeah, that's
I think we're deep enough into the season where we know a lot about these guys, but it's comparing strikeout rate to the team strikeout rate. So I like him a lot.
Yeah, that's a great point. Real quick, you said you played Gallo, right?
Yeah,
he just hit a home run. I just wanted to let you know.
That's what I'm talking about.
I like to see the smile. See that's what I live for, right there.
Yes,
that's what I like to see.
Straight catch.
Patio Joe's play of the day, Joey Gallo.
It is.
Got it done.
Everyone.
Carrasco is obvious. Just looking on a 5-game slate, it's going to be hard to get away from him. There's a couple guys you could pivot to, but it looks like we're going to have some strong wins in Chicago. So that's the only other expensive top tier option is Lester, I think. And no, I'm sorry. This is Archer. We got Archer on the slate too. That's right. I forgot about that. So yeah. So I guess. The thing that concerns me right off the bat with this game is it looks like I see the wind blowing out 15 miles an hour to right field, and Carrasco actually has a lefty issue already. So this is something we're going to have to monitor. It looks like they already have a line set for this game with the totals reflecting, and Minnesota is projected for 4.7 runs. So I think that, yeah, man, I think that wind is being taken fairly serious here in that aspect, because we saw the line today and it was nothing like that. It was a completely different line. Now this line could be for the Barrios Clevenger maybe, so we'll see if that adjusts, because they could have set that line early. Now that I think about it, but either way, if we wake up tomorrow or better yet when it's closer to game time, if the wind is still blowing out like that, I don't think I could take Carrasco. And the other thing is the Twins know this guy. You know what I mean? They're familiar with him, and don't get me wrong, Salazar, they had good BVP against Salazar, and Salazar shut him down. But this would be purely hey man, wind's blowing out 15 miles an hour. I can't take I can't take Kershaw on 15 mile an hour winds. So.
And when you've got other options,
right? Exactly.
Better options. I mean, I'm totally with you on that.
The Twins could be kind of sneaky here. Not too many people may want to take them, and guys like Dozier and Kepler and these guys are heating up. They're pretty hot, so they could be in play. And obviously, the Indians are probably going to be a popular cash game route, I would imagine. Against
I would
Gibson,
think so.
Right? Yeah. And then the Cubbies again. Go figure.
Oh, yeah.
Patrick Corbin, the lefty from the Arizona Diamondbacks, visiting Mike Fiers of the Houston Astros.
So I was looking at Corbin first, and I'd probably like him if he was facing anybody else but the Astros. He's actually been really good on the road. He's not striking out a ton of guys, but he's still been pretty consistent. But I'm not going there against Houston. I just respect him too much. On the other side, though, Fiers at 7,500. I'm liking that play a lot. We're going to be paying up for one of these guys, whether you want to go Lester, Archer, Carrasco. I like Fiers a lot as an SP2 for DraftKings. Arizona, you saw it again tonight, man. They can't hit on the road, and they strike out a lot on the road. And he's a pretty good strikeout pitcher. I mean, he's around 21, 22%, not too bad. And he gets hit harder by right-handers. So, you do have a little bit of a problem there with Martinez and Goldie. But I don't know. I like him at that price. I'm going to be looking strongly at Fiers tomorrow, I think, on 5-game slate.
Yeah, this is a great point. He's having a decent year, and We know that the Diamondbacks do strike out a lot. Morton had some success. I know that D-backs scored a lot of runs, but most of that was after Morton was already out of the game.
Yeah.
And by that time, Morton had gotten his strikeouts in. He had a really good game today. And
Yeah, 8 or 9, I think.
yeah. So he had a very, very solid game. But so yeah, I'm interested there. Corbin is a guy that I think can be sneaky a lot of the time. The issue I have here is Houston doesn't strike out a ton. So it's like, what's his ceiling really? What's his upside? He's an underdog. So like, I think I'm with you. Like, listen, it's not that we like a habit of picking on the D-backs all the time, but we know that their offense is usually less potent on the road. And like I said, Fires has had a good year. He's shown some K upside, and we know that Diamondbacks can strike out. So at that price on DraftKings, man, 7.5, that's a great call. He's definitely in play.
Yeah.
Scott Feldman of the Cincinnati Reds visiting John Lester of the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, I'm looking at Lester on this one. We were down on him there for a while, but he's been pretty good lately. I'm trying to decide between him and Archer, and I'm thinking that he's going to be a safer play than Archer or Carrasco. I think he's probably at the top of my list right now.
Who, Lester?
Lester.
Well, that's
there's a little bit of danger, but pitching at home, and he's been pretty tough. So
we got to see. The winds are supposed to be blowing out 18 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
we got 18 miles an hour in Wrigley.
That's
we don't
everything.
want those pitchers at all.
Yeah. The wind there is everything, man.
Oh yeah, it's everything.
So yeah, that's absolutely something we got to watch.
Yeah, man. Because I'm with you. Don't get me wrong. The Reds they've been striking out a bunch lately since the All-Star break. Pretty much, they have been striking out, and it's Lester's been doing better. But like if we get 18-mile-an-hour winds, which is what I'm showing, then it's just forget about it. This game gets better than Coors, and like this is a Coors slate. We have a Coors slate with a terrible pitcher on it. The terrible pitcher pitching for the Braves, that is. So
easy.
It's like you already we've discussed like there's going to be winds blowing out in Minnesota. There's going to be winds blowing out in Chicago, and then you have Coors. So it's gonna be, it should be a fun slate, man. It should be a lot of fun, and not to mention 2 of the pitchers are good pitchers in these wind blown spots. So
they'll be owned.
Oh yeah, we'll see. But in this case, man, you have to like the bats on both sides. If that wind's blowing out, I don't care, man. Duval, Suarez, or Junior Suarez, some of these guys that maybe aren't locks to hit home runs usually, they're gonna get an extra boost here, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's a great point. I mean, it's almost looking like you need to go bats on this slate.
Yeah, I think
if we got those 2 win situations.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you take those 2 guys out. You're looking at Archer. I don't know if you necessarily have to play Archer. I mean, we'll get to that in a little bit, but
yeah, I think in cash you're going to have to play somebody. And right now, Archer looks like he's going to end up being the safest. The wind, believe it or not, the wind's blowing out in Toronto, but I'm assuming they're going to close the roof because it's like 75 degrees and it might rain. So I'm assuming they're going to close their roof because they usually do this time of year.
They usually have it.
So like I'm assuming that that's what they're going to do, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, man, I think that for this game, as much as I'd like to look at Lester, if the wind dies down, which sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't really happen what's forecasted. So if the wind dies down, then I think you're onto something. But if the wind's going to stay at 18 miles an hour, give me all the bets here, man. We've seen it do some damage there.
Yeah, don't forget Hamilton.
Oh, I was
looking at him earlier.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
because he's like 7 for 16. He's got a couple of bombs. He's got 6 steals against Lester. If he gets on first, he's stealing second every single time and probably third.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's going to be an under-the-radar play, I think. But you got to remember, Lester can't throw the ball to first base. So,
yes,
Hamilton's not scared of anybody.
Yeah, I'm glad that you said that because I got sidetracked. I was going to say that I think Hamilton, especially on FanDuel, where his price is a little cheaper, is almost like a must-play in cash. If you get the wind blowing out, right, he's leading off. He has good BVP. And on top of that, the biggest security here is like assuming he can find a way to get on base, which he's done a pretty good job of getting on base at least once. Like a stolen base is coming. You know what I mean? Like it's coming once he gets on. He's just going to run all over Lester. Like you said, Lester doesn't throw to first because he can't. So I'm with you. That's a great call on Billy Hamilton. Lucas Sims of the Atlanta Braves visiting Jeff Hoffman of the Colorado Rockies. Oof, you took a big gasp at that point. What happened there?
Man.
You don't like the Sims cat for your Braves?
No, man, I love Lucas Sims. Number 1 draft pick. He's taken a while to get up there. And honestly, I don't think he's been that bad because I've watched him pitch all 3 times. He hasn't 3 or 4 starts, whatever it is. He hasn't been that bad, but he's got a tendency to give up home runs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just an incredibly bad matchup for him. Man, everybody's in play. That's pretty obvious. The bigger thing on the other side, do you think Hoffman's in play here? I mean, the Braves suck, man. They can't score at all. They can't score at Coors. Freddie Freeman's got some problems with his eyes there, with the dry weather and everything they're talking about earlier today. And you look at Hoffman. I mean, he gets hit hard by right-handed hitters. What right-handed hitters do the Braves have? I mean, Suzuki and Flowers? I mean, Phillips?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. I mean, I'm curious to see what you have to say about Hoffman, whether he's in play as a tournament, or if you just decide, like, I'm going to pay down and take 2 guys. I'm going to take Fires and somebody else.
It's just like my issue with Hoffman is he's been so bad at home. Like he's been really bad at home, and I think that there's something like I think his pitches probably just don't work right when he's at home. So he's shown us the upside in the past, but until he shows that he can do something manageable at home, I just don't think I could do it. Like especially because like on DraftKings, dude, it's like Archer's 11.9. He's not that bad. It's not like you're paying a Darvish price at 1,300, whatever. So, like, he's not all that bad. So, like, I think in DraftKings, like, where you have to play 2, I think I would pay up for 1 anyway. Listen, there's a ton of bats here. It's just, I'm sure that we'll have enough value at some points that we can make it work and pay up for 1 of these guys. And then just, go with, like, a Fears or, at least in cash games, like, go with, like, Fires or whatever. Yeah. In tournaments, though, yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's ways you can get creative. Like, you can consider, like, obviously Fires. You're looking at this, and it almost seems like the ownership is going to be pretty easy to figure out. The only other guy we can talk about in the next game is this guy Chris Rowley, and like it's a super punt, and he's not even priced where he should be. He should be even cheaper than that, but I think he had a pretty good game in his first outing or something like that.
Yeah, he did.
He's in the military. He was in the military. He was a West Point graduate, I think.
Yeah, it was the first guy ever from West Point, I believe, to make it to the majors.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. So. He's like the one guy, we could just go ahead and talk about the game overall. And he's like the one guy that you can maybe, but like, what are you doing? You're just basically rolling the dice.
Yeah, pretty much. I think he only had like 3 strikeouts the first game.
Yeah, but it's the Rays, so the Rays bring you some added strikeout.
They strike out a lot, so.
But like.
Yeah, why not?
And like, it's just like, in cash games though, you should just play Archer, I think. If the wind dies down, you can consider Lester. If the wind dies down, you can consider Carrasco. But if not, honestly, even if not, I trust Archer more than I trust any one of those guys anyway. Like, I expect Archer to give up some runs. The Blue Jays know the guy, you know what I'm saying? So it's like he's...
Yeah.
And he's not as good on the road. We talk about that all the time with Archer. But still, as long as they close this roof, if they leave it open, it's a crapshoot because the wind's blowing out there too, technically. So I'm assuming they'll close that roof. And
I'm sure they will, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, though. I mean, his strikeout rate's huge. He's a pretty huge favorite.
Yeah.
At least right now, with the win situation, yeah. He's the best bet you have, I think.
Yes. If we're
almost think you have to play
unless this win stuff changes. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next slate. Actually, I'll take this time to say, those of you that are listening, we really appreciate you guys listening, watching, whichever format you're using. And to show you our appreciation for you guys listening to us, taking that time, we'd like to offer you a 20% off promo code for any of our membership, any of our products. So it's 20% off our monthly, daily, or weekly passes. The monthly is a subscription package, and it's the best value, so we recommend you use it there. You'll save the most money, and overall, you save the most money because the plan itself is cheapest, but it gives you access to our models, our data-driven tools. It gives you access to our premium live streams we do Monday through Friday for the baseball slate, and you get access to all the sports that we offer. We don't charge you separate and all that stuff. But anyway, promo code is podcast, and again, you get 20% off. Just go to wisetape.com. You can use it there. And now, let's move on to this main slate. We got Adam Wainwright of the St. Louis Cardinals visiting Jameson Taillon. I can never say his name right. Of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, the first thing that jumped out at me is like, how the hell is Wainwright 12-5? I mean, I think his ERA is like 7 or something, or even higher on the road. I'm not seeing a whole lot from either of these guys. I know Tyon has some pretty good games, strikeout games here and there. He's had some success against the Cardinals, couple bad ones. So I'm not really interested in either one of these guys. Wainwright at 7,300, Tyon at 96. I'm not really interested in either of the pitchers in this. I don't know if you have something different on it, but
no, I'm definitely not. I think
I've got some other guys I'm looking at. So
yeah, I think Wainwright is not as good on the road, even though the Pirates aren't good. He doesn't have enough K upside for me to take that chance against them. And Tyon, dude, he's 9.6 on that. That's a little steep. 9.6 for him against the Cardinals.
That's what I thought too.
The Cardinals don't even strike out that much. They did for a little bit, but like overall, they really don't all that much. But
yeah, they're hot right now.
Yeah, and they're swinging the bat, so I'm not crazy about that. I think I'm with you there. Obviously, there's limited upside, but in the game from the hitters, but I think you can get away with some one-offs maybe.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there for sure.
Luis Severino of the New York Yankees visiting Steven Matz of the New York Mets.
So I think I'm going to go ahead and throw out Severino's last game. I know people are going to be scared of him because he was terrible last time out, but man, he's been really good all year. He's going to be a pretty big favorite. He's even been better on the road. It's a better pitcher's park. Yeah, I think I'm all over Severino on this one. He's one of my top two guys on this slate. On the other side, your boy Matz, man. God, he's bad at home.
Oh, yeah. He's bad in general right now.
So bad. Even worse at home.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, ERA over 9. I don't know what we're doing with this guy, but I like, pretty much anybody that's right-handed that's in the Yankees lineup tomorrow. Be worth a look for me.
Yeah, man, I'm with you. The total's low, but that's probably more of a reflection on Severino. Some of the Mets are banged up. We don't know if Flores will play. Not that it really matters. It's a righty, so it was no luck there. But
he's not the lock.
He's not the lock, exactly. So yeah, man, I think you're right. Mets has been terrible, especially at home. Severino, I would imagine, would be the chalk, and it would make sense. Excuse me, with the way the Mets have been striking out. I think in tournaments, though, like, I might try to get away from him. Just because at 12-5, he's shown that he can have some trouble. And the Mets still have Cespedes and Conforto. Like, they still have some guys. They still have a little bit of pride. This is the last game of the Subway Series, and usually they split. Sure. Almost every year they split. So if they lose this, they're going to get swept in a 4-game series. And so there is that little bit of pride, even though they don't have much to play for, that I think they'll hold. So I wouldn't be surprised. In cash games, you don't mess around. I think you kind of have to play Severino in cash. Or no, actually, you might not have to. There's another guy we'll talk about later.
There's another guy.
Yeah, there's another guy we'll talk about later. Yep. And like I don't know if you necessarily have to play him, but yeah, you have to. Respecting this, I still think that they're somewhat like Severino is still in play. I just don't necessarily think he's a must-play, even though the Mets have been struggling.
You think that recency bias is going to hurt him off that one bad game? You think that's going to hurt the ownership?
Possibly, because I think that some people still think the Mets are doing well. Like I heard some people today just say, like, what about, the Mets have been hot? And I'm like, no, they haven't. I'm like,
what the hell are you talking about?
Definitely not. But
they won 2
I
games
heard it from a few people that I've talked to recently have mentioned to me, like, oh, what about your Mets? And I'm like, dude, what do you mean? The Mets have been striking out like more than anybody in the league lately.
They're trading 2 of their best hitters away.
Yeah, man. I told everybody to play Jaime Garcia against them in cash today. DraftKings as an SP2, man. That's how like adamant I was when I saw that lineup. I was like, I just load him up. Who cares? Yeah. Who cares? He's 5'8". He'll pay it off, no problem, man. That dude will fart off his points, man. He could fart and boom, he's made his value against the Mets. I'm telling you. It worked out okay. He gave up a couple runs, but he got the job done. He got some strikeouts.
Yeah, he did all right.
He did fine.
Yep.
He was crazy popular, but hey, in cash games, the hell you care,
Yeah, that's right.
Ronaldo Lopez of the Chicago White Sox visiting Tyson Ross of the Texas Rangers.
So, I think this is where we're going to be paying up for bats on this slate. I'm assuming that the Rangers are going to be really popular. Lopez, second start. Don't know a whole lot about him. He did all right that first start against the Royals. So, to me, I'm thinking this is where. You all right?
I'm good, bro.
I think Texas is going to be really popular. It's going to be Chalk City What do you think?
Yeah, on a slate where we don't have cores and a lot of those other better ballparks for hitting, like these are all. Texas is the best ballpark on the slate. Like you got Pittsburgh, you got the City Field, you got the Padres, and then
It's not even
and the
close.
Giants. So by far they have the best situation. So yeah, I would have to agree with that. And to that right, I'll tell you what, man. I think I really like this kid Tyson Ross tomorrow. I know it seems like kind of crazy and it's hot and all this stuff, but the White Sox are still the White Sox, and so I half expect everybody to just kind of like play the White Sox now. Like, oh, Darvish ain't striking nobody out. Darvish, Abreu hit a home run, so because it's the best ballpark, I think the White Sox will get a little bit of love here too. But that kid Tyson Ross, he does have a little bit of K potential. So I'm telling you what, man.
I'm with
you. For tournaments, I think this. And I don't get me wrong. In cash, I wouldn't go near it. You can't play a guy that's playing in 93-degree weather and 50% humidity like in cash. I mean, you can't. But in tournaments, man, like as an SP2, he's certainly in play.
Yeah, I agree with you. 6,700.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I see some K potential. Yes, I do.
I bet. What do you want to bet he outscores Darvish?
Oh man, well, dude, I think there's not many pitchers on this site that probably won't outscore Darvish tomorrow. Is he even still pitching? Oh wait, he's still pitching. Like to his credit, he might have gotten his first strikeout, or he got a strikeout. It's the sixth inning, and he has 2 strikeouts now. So apparently we missed one of his strikeouts. So I guess that's our bad.
It's getting real.
It's getting real. That's it.
God.
It's getting real.
That's all right.
But yeah, I think Tyson Ross is certainly in play. Edwin Jackson of the Washington Nationals visiting Jaul Chalcin of the San Diego Padres.
So looking at Jackson, people are always going to look at pitchers going against the Padres, especially at their ballpark. 8,300. The numbers don't look too bad until you dig into them a little bit more. I think this guy's
until you look at him.
If you look at just ERA and it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
But when you dig a little bit deeper, like he's just getting lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, how is he just not getting destroyed every game?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know, but I don't have any interest in him. I mean, I'm sure people will play him just because it's the Padres, but
I'm very surprised that he's that expensive.
Yeah, it's a little steep.
I mean, 8-3 on even for DraftKings. I get it; it's the Padres, but like 8-3 for a guy that I don't know. To me, maybe he's had a game already that was decent that we're overlooking. Am I gonna have to pull up FanDuel and check because now I don't understand?
He's had games where he doesn't give up a lot of runs,
right?
But I mean, people hit the ball hard off of him. He doesn't strike anyone out.
I'm sorry.
Just looks to me like he's getting pretty lucky.
And the Padres have been pretty damn good. Like, okay, he's coming off a game against the Giants. He went 6 innings with 5 strikeouts against the Giants. He had a game against the Rockies, 7 innings, 6 strikeouts. So he's had he's put together a couple good games. But like, still nothing that like I would feel comfortable paying 8-3 for him on any format. Like, if people want to try that, I get it. He's an underdog. Like, does anybody like he's not just that? I'll tell you what, man. I like Chacin in this. I really do. I like Chacin.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
He pitches better at home, and then on top of that, the Nationals.
He's great at home.
Anybody pay attention to the Nationals lately? Their offense has been dreadful, and they're missing Harper. You know what I'm saying? Like they're all like with the literally for the Nationals, the way they've been winning lately is riding one player. Today it was Ryan Zimmerman. He had a 2-run home run, and it kind of just carried them throughout the whole game. It was Howie Kendrick the night before. He had 2 home runs, and it kind of carried them throughout. Right. And Rendon, all these guys, okay, but it's a problem without that guy. So like Murphy's even been like mediocre, and we know Chacin's got good home splits, so he's the favorite here. Like I think he's an interesting SP2 option too. You want to get real funky here, man. We're looking at Ross and Chacin. Just load it up, man. Oh,
that's great tournament. You can get anybody else you want. Yeah. So get Judge, Andrus, get everybody.
Go Judge, like a Fordo,
get Gallo, everybody.
All the Gallo you want.
Yeah. Yeah, he was actually the 3rd guy on my list, believe it or not. Chacin was.
Yeah, man. I
you look at it like he's really good against right-handed hitters. He's really good at home. So who's the lefties in the lineup that are going to hurt him?
I'm with you, man.
Harper's not there.
Nope.
Goodwin just went to the DL. Yeah, I mean, this is a struggling offense. So I don't think they're anybody we need to be scared of.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that, man, for sure.
At 6K, I like him a hell of a lot better at 6K than Jackson at 8,300.
I'm with you. I'm definitely with
Yeah,
you.
I think it's a good call.
Awesome. So, let's move on here. Last game of the night, we got Aaron Nola of the Philadelphia Phillies visiting Jeff Samardzija of the San Francisco Giants.
Oh, is it fair to say that Nola's your boy?
Yeah, Nola's my boy, man. I love Nola,
Okay,
man.
all
That's
right.
my boy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, man. I mean, you say I'm not paying 12K for Aaron Nola. Well, yeah. I mean, I think I will. I'll take it. I mean, he's been lights out, man. I think he's around 26 DK points last 5 starts. I mean, he's 24, 25% strikeout rate. You know, at San Francisco, they don't score. Pitcher's ballpark. Yeah, I like him a lot, man. I like him pretty much every time he takes the mound, but he seems to be getting better. So, to me, it's Severino or it's Nola as your top option on this. So, I don't know. I'm not sure yet which way I'm going to go.
See,
Might be leaning Nola though.
I'd say I like the Shark. I like Jeff Samardzija. You know who I played in the early slate today as an SP2 on DraftKings? I played Clayton Richard as an SP2. Clayton Richard, you know what he got me? How many DraftKings points he got me today?
No idea.
He got me 38.8 DraftKings points today. My hitters were terrible. I put him in a single entry double up. I pivoted from Pavetta because I played the wrong guys and I was freaking out. I'm going to lose, so I pivoted. And that pitcher alone. Like he single-handedly got
game
me
of his life, man.
Dude, game of his life. It was a complete game, and it's just more of a symbolism of how bad the Phillies are. I think Aaron Nola is way more talented than this Jeff Samardzija will ever be or ever has been. But the problem is when you look at matchups here, the Phillies strike out and Nola and the Giants don't as much. And we saw Nola struggle against the Angels. He had an outing against the Angels on the road. He didn't fare so well. And this kind of reminds me of that kind of scenario. So, to be honest with you, I like Samardzija a lot more. Samardzija is actually the favorite anyway. I don't mind Nola, but I'd probably prefer Nola more as a tournament option. But with Samardzija, I feel like the floor is higher because even if he gives up a couple runs, like I feel like you're gonna get a couple strikeouts here, right? Nola could go 6 innings, 7 innings, great, and get you like 1 or 2 strikeouts because the Giants just don't do that very often. Whereas Samardzija, maybe he gives up 3 runs, but he probably got 6 strikeouts too. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he's the one with the higher floor, and his price at 9.3, I think on DraftKings, I'm a little surprised he's that cheap.
Yeah, especially with the slate.
Yeah.
And they're always going to tailor the prices to the slate. This is what I was looking at as I was looking at my SP1's Severino or Nola,
and then
my SP2 and then my SP2's either the Shark or Chassin, which man for cash I don't like playing.
It's scary.
Chassin for cash, but yeah, I mean that's what I was thinking too. Is that Shark's an awesome SP2.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's the Phillies, man. I mean,
I will say there is no core slate, so maybe you don't need to go nuts and and maybe you could pay up for both of these guys. Like you said,
yeah.
I'd probably lean towards Severino because the Mets strike out a bunch, so I'd probably lean towards Severino and Shark if I was going to pay up for 2 guys. But at this point, I got to dig in tomorrow. So if you guys don't like what I'm saying, ask me tomorrow and I'll tell you my opinion change. But as of right now, I kind of feel like maybe you could, if you could find the bats you want to get away with, maybe you could get away with Chassin and Shark. But because there's no core slate, maybe you can afford all the bats you need anyway. I mean, some of these Padres are still dirt cheap and they've been playing a lot better. Perella's only $3K. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah, it's possible. Maybe you just pay up for 2 of them. But I don't think we have to pay up for Nola and Severino. I think you're right about that. I think it's probably Shark and then one. If you're gonna pay up for both, it's Shark and one of the other guys. But who knows, man? Sometimes I get a little funky in these cash games and on DraftKings, and I'll throw in like a Chassin or something like that as an SP2 if I really like that. I have to find a stack I really like, and the Rangers are gonna be uber popular. Though. Yeah.
Yeah. If you throw Chassin in there, you can. I mean, you go Severino, Chassin, you can pretty much get anybody you want still.
Yeah, definitely.
And at 6K, he's going to pay that off at 6K.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right, man, you ready to play some Dog Watch?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, my man. So we're gonna do this all day slate style, since you like to do the all day slate so much, and we're gonna go first base, third base, outfielder. Let's find some studs here, man. No course. That's the only. You need right now.
Okay. First base. Man, I got a couple guys. I got one guy I really like, but I'll save that for later. I'll go with Rizzo.
Okay, I like that call against.
I like the win, man.
Going with the win. I like it.
And he got me that granny tonight, so I'm riding that train.
I like it. All right, I'm gonna go with. I'll go with E5 against Kyle Gibson. There's some wind up there too, so I'm gonna go that way.
Playing that wind.
Give me a third baseman.
Third baseman. I could make it easy. Yeah, all right. I'll go ahead and take Brian.
I knew you were gonna take fucking Brian.
It's just easy. It's too easy right now.
No, it's like if he doesn't take Brian, too much time. I'm going to get my exposure to the Cubs. Like he better not take Brian. And sure enough, he just says Brian. You're like, yeah, I get. And as soon as you said like I can make this easy, I'm like, oh no. I'm like, all right. Like he's gonna pick.
You've been spending too much time on the wind, man.
I'm gonna go with Suarez on the other side against the lefty.
All right. Okay.
I'll get my exposure to that game one way or another, bro.
All right.
Let's go with
I like that.
Give me an outfielder.
Outfielder. Man. There's a lot of guys I like, but I just really want this to happen just so I can say something to you. I'll just go with Judge. Just give me Judge, man.
It's a good call. I can't even get mad at that because it's definitely a good take. Let me see. Even if this was a 10-game slate, there would still be like it's like the early. It's hard to get away from any of these early games. It's like you just want to stay here in the early games. But I'll go with Kepler. Give me Max Kepler against Carrasco.
Ooh.
See if he gets one out of there. I could have gone Jay Bruce, but I'm gonna go Kepler. More of a GPP play, I think.
Yeah, I chalk played the shit out of that. I mean, it was too easy.
It's all good, man.
Kepler's a great play, man. I like that.
Yeah.
Go out on them a little bit.
There you go. All right, guys. If you're watching on YouTube, please click that thumbs up. That like button it means a lot to us. If you're listening on Podbean, give us a follow. If you're listening on iTunes, the audio-only version, subscribe to the channel there. Give us some 5-star reviews. Bump us up those charts, man. It means a lot to us. Spread the word, man. We do this podcast free. We intend on keeping the podcast portion free. So all we ask in return is you help spread the word. And also, of course, visit wisetake.com. And if you're interested in joining a premium DFS community and you want to have a lot of fun because you love DFS and you want to start winning a little bit, if you want to be a better player, I suggest you come aboard there too. And you got the promo code, of course, 20% off with the promo code podcast. Jason, man, it's always fun when we get together like this, bro. I appreciate it. Thanks again as always, man.
Absolutely, man. Great time.
As always.
Look forward to it next week.
There we go. So, for Mr. Slim Gaede and for myself, as always, good luck.
Peace. Yeah.